Well, welcome back. Horten 229, experimental flying wing from the Second World War, developed by the Horten brothers. As you know, I'm a big fan of a flying wing, and I happened to watch a TV program where they built the Horten 229, a wooden structure to test its how good it was against a radar. I sat there looking at it and thought, you know what? I got shed loads of this green insulating foam that goes underneath the laminate flooring, and I thought to myself, that won't need any special paint. I can just make that as a Horten 229. So, plan of action. I actually have, thanks to Andy Whitehead at Angel Wing Design, I tried to tile this on my printer. Just wasn't happening, so Andy very kindly said, that's not a problem, I'll do that for you. So we went with this size to start off with. I'm only going to need half a wing, and then I'm going to tell you what we're planning to do. He had a little bit of an accident. We've got a mega version. So plan of action is, I would like to do this very much like the June Freak. I'd like to do this in two variations, and that's the reason for me using the small version first. So we're going to go flat sheet, 2 channels, and then I'm going to add the KFM, the Kline fogleman 2 on top, to see if that gives it any better flying qualities. So that's what we're making. Horten 229 with 2 different styles of wing, mini version first, and then the data we get from that will scale up and go big. Okay, so the basic shape is cut out. Now, a couple of things we need to think about. At the moment, I don't want to be putting servos out here for these ailerons, and I'm not sure I'm going to get a push-pull system to run out to here. So I'm thinking about extending those to about here. So this pencil line here and that ruler line there, that's going to be the control surface. Now I'm either thinking about putting the servo just here, because if you notice, this bit here is where the engine port is going to be. I'm not going to do it fantastic scale, but I am going to make some representation, and I think that if we have the servo sat there, that's a narrow enough angle for me to get away, possibly with them on a ball joint with it angled, for that to work. Second thing is Kline fogleman. This Kline fogleman 2 is supposed to be 50% of the cord. Now, you know, this is the Horten tail. This is going to be quite difficult to get the surface area from, so I've gone a little bit, you know, side wired. It looks all right. So I've just taken a line across here to there, and then measured that as the span, and that is 180, and then I've measured that there, and half of that is 50% for a KFM2, so that's 55 there, and that's 90 there. This here gives me the KFM, well, KFM2. So if I put that there like so, that's where the KFM step is. Who knows? Say, he very kindly, Mr. Kline very kindly messaged me, and quite rightly, they are designed for power aircraft, but I was quite pleased with the way the KF2 worked, so I'm going to give it a go. So we've got a basic shape. I've then cut out some KFM2s, which are going to sit on there like so, and they're going to get glued down. And this is not going to be, you know, absolute scale. So in my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to add this to here like so, and then what I'm planning to do is I've cut a load, about 3 or 4 of these blanks, and what I'm thinking is I am going to glue a couple of these together as a block. that means I'm going to be able to make the sort of engine outlets and the engine there, and then on the top I'm thinking I might stick something on there to make a small canopy with. So my next stage is going to be I'm going to make the engine mounts, the engine block. I'm going to glue these down. I'm going to glue this down when I'm happy. So this bit here I'm not going to finish off at this butted end. I am going to sand this down to nothing. So from here this is all going to get sanded down to virtually, it's blended. That'll look nicer. And I've also figured out I'm going to drop the servos in here, so they'll be covered, and so you won't see those. They'll be sat there like so. And I'm thinking aileron, so if you just bear with me, this is just, I'm going to cut this to about here. So cut an aileron along here and then run the push rod across there. I think I'll get enough movement for what we need, bearing in mind that this is the small one and I'm just thinking out loud for the bigger one. Yeah, if I put it out here, I think I'm going to end up with C or G problems, bearing in mind that looking at the original plans of this, the C of G is right up here, so I really am going to have to think about allowing to get a battery and a receiver in here to get the weight as well forward as possible. So I'm going to do a bit more gluing. I'll get back to you. Oh, just to let you know, at the moment I am using this Deluxe Materials foam safe foam to foam at the moment. Okay, before I get completely carried away, I need to start thinking about the gear installation, because the C of G at the moment, the C of G is right back. I'm really looking for about here forwards. So at the moment I've just dropped these in. I was originally just going to go as a chuck glider with this one. I had thought about using a bigger battery, but I'm just going to use this little small 4.8 150 milliamp hour battery. So I'm going to cut a hole in there for it to drop down one size, and then these are, I'm just going to cut that into there like so, which should give me the height to cover it. And then I've just got to think about the receiver. So I'm sticking the battery here at the moment. I fully expect that I'm going to have to, well, it's fairly close by the time I've got the receiver in and stuck the other stuff in, so we're getting there. I might have to add some weight. The only other issue I've got is finding somewhere to put the gear in as well, or to put in the receiver in as well. So this, for this particular project, the receiver might just sit on top. I'll see how I go. So I've had a bit of a mare. Let me show you. I was just doing the push rods for the gear. Right one's going, left one, my left servo stopped. So I'm going to have to cut this out of here and find out what's going on. Damn it. Saved. I don't know what's happened. I managed to dig the servo out in, and so it will go back nicely. I took it apart. I don't know whether it was the heat gun or whether I just screwed the top screw in too tight, but I have yeah, you might be saying, oh, just use another servo, but this is a test rig really, if I'm going to decide to do a bigger one. So for the sake of £9, I've still got my servo going, and it appears to be fine. So let's crack on. Well chuffed for that. well, there you go, one standoff scale, Horten 229, with a Kline fogleman 2 wing section. I just got a little bit of the green foam, sanded it into a canopy. I've put the push rods on. I realised they're at an angle, but I didn't want to put the servos right out here, and I didn't want to go all the way in with the control surfaces because I thought that'd be too much. Anyway, it was a little bit of a fun build while I'm waiting for some actually a little micro damn it S coming next. So next time hopefully you see me when this stupid run of easterly winds has gone, I'll be on the hill giving this a go. What could possibly go wrong?